Well, here I am with MD Poole, the great author, a very prolific author. But today we're not talking about, well, we will talk about her books, but later on. Right now, we're going to talk about somewhere called Castello Nuovo. Bet you've never heard of it. Well, if you have, we've got some more information for you. But I think what we'll do first off is say hello to MD. Hello, MD.
Oh, a pleasure to be here. Nice to see you.
Well, thank you for all your research and help. I find this project, Castello Nuovo, so interesting and fascinating.
Fascinating.
It is said that this village is where the Niçois came from, which is fascinating in itself. Whether it's
Of
true or not,
course.
I don't know. However, let's find out a bit. Where is Castello Nuovo?
Well, it's on a hill, 700 meters high, uh, 35 minutes northeast of Nice. And oh boy, from it, you can see the Alps from one direction and the sea on the other direction. It's just a beautiful spot.
And how long has it been in existence?
Well, uh, 2,000 years or so. The Castel Nuovo is not that old. Around the time of Caesar, people landed in Lyon, and the Romans came down to this site at the top of the mountain and set up a little village. There wasn't any good water there, so eventually, around 900 AD, they ended up in the site where the actual village is now, because there are a lot of wells and springs down there. So that's Châteauneuf-Villiers. Châteauneuf means new village, that's on top. Villiers means old village, and that's on the bottom. That's where around 900 the Romans really settled, and for 200 years, 400 years, they were there until barbarians showed up. I don't know which barbarians, I'm afraid to say, but barbarians, and drove them away back up to the top of the hill. Well, it's a
Oh,
mountain, it's not a hill. And they built a new village, the Castel Nuovo, new village. And there are about 100 different buildings, ruins now, but buildings up there, very well protected, even with a tower, with a pigeon loft where they could send messages all around the country. So that began just about 1100 AD. It's been there a long time.
and most of it's tumbled down now, I gather.
I'm afraid so. Well, it's still interesting to wander through, because if something had been 4 stories tall back then in the ancient rocks and things, now it's probably about a half a story tall. So there are still paths through everything and stairs up and around, and it's interesting no matter what. Yes.
Well, the mayor of Châteauneuf-Villiers, yeah,
Very well
I got
done.
that out. He is so involved in this, and he's created an
Oh, yes.
association to remodel the site. And
Yes.
you are participating in this. What is the mayor trying to achieve?
Um, for 25 years, he's been rebuilding with a team of volunteers, rebuilding the main tower, the main building, um, with the goal of bringing the village together and all of French Riviera together to support the patrimoine of this site. The patrimoine, let's see, to translate that, cultural history,
Mhm.
or maybe better, historical identity of who we really are here. You've got 2,000 years of history, and now all the volunteers and the villagers are able to put their fingerprints on that same cultural identity. It's quite exciting. Yeah.
Did you get involved though, MD? You're an
Uh,
author from America who lives in Nice. So how did that happen?
well, I will say I can speak French, but I am not bilingual. And the people of Chateauneuf are so kind and patient with my accent. I bought a house up there a few years ago, And after hearing about this Chateauneuf project of rebuilding the tower, the mayor, a charming, smart fellow, he has a doctorate in geology. He's been mayor for 25 years. And he gave me a lift up to the top of the mountain and put me to work making cement.
Oh,
I didn't know I loved to make cement, but I do. So I kept going back.
oh, that's fascinating. So are there, well, you say there are a number of other people. Are they all volunteers? How does it work?
They're all volunteers. The mayor is a volunteer too. Usually there's a team of from 10 to 20 every Saturday morning. We start at 8 in the morning on Saturday. It goes till noon. There's a little break with croissants in the middle. Uh, and the mayor is the boss. He organizes everybody, putting people to work where they're able to serve. Me, for instance, for my size, I'm very strong, but I'm not as strong as some people. And still, he has me climb ladders and put cement on top of fallen down walls so that I can add more rocks going up. Right now, I'm working on at the bottom of this building, there are vaults, which used to be the stables for the various animals, the cows and sheep. And I'm working along with the other volunteers on remaking the vault, the ceiling of this stables. So yes, that's he really has an organized mind for this kind of construction. The
So
mayor does.
what are they going to do with it once they finish it or finish part of it? Are they going to have parties there or concerts?
Well, it's not exactly open to the public. The real construction sites are prohibited because it's a little dangerous, but people can walk all the way around it. They can walk all over it. Boy, it's a hiking paradise. They can walk through all the other buildings. There are dog training lessons on one side of the area during Saturday mornings. They
Dog
have,
training?
yes, dog training. It's wonderful because it's a huge open space, and they have fairs and festivals in this open space around here regularly, including Easter morning. There's going to be a giant Easter egg hunt. So they use the space beautifully all the time. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. So this guy's very, very enterprising, isn't he?
Oh, yes. And the volunteers are enterprising as well. It seems like it's a combined energy that seems to pull it all together.
But you seem to have really adapted very well to it. And even though you're in Nice now, you still travel up.
And back and forth every Saturday morning. And as I say, they seem to be welcoming. It's a team that's in flux every Saturday, but I've made some very dear friends during the work. It seems everybody pulls together quite well.
Can anybody get involved?
Anybody, you don't have to sign up, you don't have to pay. Show up at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning and the mayor will put you to work. So,
So how do you get to it? How do you get to the site? How do you sign up?
well, from Nice, you just drive up Saturday morning. From Nice, you go to Caen. That's northeast of Nice. You go
Mhm.
to Caen, you turn left at the Red Bridge, and there's only one road. You just keep going switchbacks up and up and up. You
Oh, and
pass the
there's
village.
switchbacks aplenty.
Oh, yes, you've been there, I know.
Is that it
Little bitty
inadvertently?
curves.
I
Yes.
took the road up through San Andre.
Oh,
That
that's a good way too.
well, it's less curly.
Well, yes. And
So
but still there were some curves, you're right.
there are still curves here. You can't
Yep.
escape them, but not quite as many. I've never had so many switchbacks.
Well, if you're going from that direction, before you get to the village of Châteauneuf-Villiers, you would take a right up to the park, the Col de Châteauneuf. But if you're going from Caen, you turn at the Red Bridge and go up, and 10 minutes after the village, you would turn left into the area where the park is. And I must warn people, the road in the park is is not good. There are lots and lots of potholes, but they're all worth it when you get to the parking area. So
Can you? Oh, so you have to get to the parking area, really, do you?
you can park at the bottom and walk. I've done it many times with and without my dog, but there is a little parking area just next to the construction site.
Oh, fascinating. So
Oh,
I've done all this work. I've spent a morning up there lifting rocks and building castles, and I'm hungry and thirsty. What can I do to satisfy myself, to feed myself? Are there places?
yes, if you go back down to the village, um, well, first of all, you should definitely stop by the mayor's office because there's all this free literature and free little booklets about the
I thought you were
history
going
of
to say
the
free
place.
drinks.
No, almost.
Quite.
But
I love that word free, and that got me all excited.
well, free books, that's not bad too. And uh, but right next to the mayor's office is a wonderful restaurant, the Epicerie. Um, there's a lovely restaurant, Rose's Restaurant, also. It's a little more elegant and plenty of food to be had in the little village. There are only 900 people in the village, and yet, I don't know, between holding on to the 2,000-year history of the place and all the modern amenities, like you can recharge your electric car there, and these 900 people seem to have pulled the future and the past together so well. The restaurants are great. They're little fairs and music things in the square next to the two restaurants. Always some action going on. It's interesting.
Definitely worth a visit. I can heartily recommend it. So
Yes,
thank you so much for that outline of Castello Nuovo, because I like the
yes.
Italian feel about that one. It's much easier pronounced than Châteauneuf-de-Villiers.
Well,
We did it
that's a
again.
mouthful.
Did it
It's true.
successfully again. So okay, we'll just spend a couple of minutes saying, where are you books-wise? Are you writing a new one since Worldly
Oh,
Goods?
I am writing a new one. It's uh, we, it's about a murder in New York City. I won't tell you more than that, but I'm about 100 pages into it and it will evolve. And the previous one, Worldly Goods, uh, that's doing quite well, actually. It's about a fellow who wins the lottery and a lawyer who wins the lottery. So that's always, put an asterisk by that, a lawyer.
Yeah,
But
but
he turns out,
that seems so unfair. A lawyer
I,
winning a
I know,
lottery.
I know. He turns out to be a pretty good guy. It's okay.
He does.
And his not his girlfriend, but his best friend who is female, um, she ends up in the book writing 3 cookbooks, which I published
You
for
know,
her. Yeah, and they are available too, her cookbooks. And I'll just show the one before Worldly Goods, also set in New York City.
of course.
Pronounce it.
Excellent, excellent. No,
Thank
it's
you.
excellent
That's
read.
nice.
And you did an audio book. How far has that gone? Because you completed it.
I did complete it. Yes. So
Is it
it's
released? Can people
uh,
read it?
audio, Audacity. It's through Audacity right now. Yes,
Okay, just there. Okay,
just there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're moving
Oh,
on, which is really great. I'm really
I'm
pleased.
staying busy.
I hope
Okay.
Willie Goods does make it to a movie because it's a lovely plot, and I think it's just an interesting book, a feel good
Well,
as well, which we all
it
need.
is. It is, and it hits a lot of topical areas right now. And a woman in California is looking at her. So who knows?
We
Keep
don't
your
know.
fingers
We keep our
crossed.
fingers crossed and we try our best.
Okay.
Thank you so, so much, MD, for your time today. And thank you for the lowdown on Castello Nuovo. Uh,
Well,
I really would encourage people to go up to the site and just participate because it's so much part of the fabric of the history of Nice and the surrounding area. And it gives you a
yes.
chance to get out of Nice for 5 minutes if you can bear it.
Yeah, yes, okay. And thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you always, Mike.
Oh, it's a delight to talk to you, MD. So we will smile brightly at each other while I try and find the off button and say
Yes,
thank you again, MD.
have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye.